Alrighty, so in a breaking video that I'm a little late on, but I'm a little late on everything, James O'Keefe has popped out a video on the Twitter, the Twatter, the X, whatever you want to call it, giving us, I guess, proof that Disney is racist and has hiring practices that should be seen in, I don't know, the 30s or whatever. I'm not surprised by this. How can you be surprised by this? Everyone who's been paying attention would already know that Disney in itself is a racist company. But let's break in here to what Mr. James O'Keefe has to say and what his video has to say. Up top here, breaking: Senior Vice President at the Walt Disney Company details discriminatory hiring practices. Nobody else is going to tell you this, but they're not considering any white males for the job, says Michael, I'm going to butcher this, a vice president of business affairs. There is no way we're hiring a white male, Giordano reveals. Disney uses code words and buzzwords to avoid legal action and even mentions a candidate being rejected for not looking black enough. Wait, somebody was rejected for not being black enough? I mean, that doesn't surprise me any, but it's kind of disgusting now, isn't it? Oh, what was it? Giordano also admits Disney gives bonuses to executives for practicing. Yeah, okay. Let's just go down here and pop into the video. Boink. That good? Alright, let's take a look-see here. We are going to speed this up a little bit, though. Go 1.25. There we go. Alright, rock and roll.
Certainly, there have been times where there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Like straight to you?
Yeah.
Or okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against white men in particular.
I'm sort of like well prepared for it, I'm well positioned for it, but as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney. In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in the divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for a shot. They're just not what they want.
They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
We wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now who was half black, but didn't appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like that's not what's like. They wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't going to bring that to the meeting. I mean, it kind of feels like at some point there's going to be a lawsuit. That's kind of how it feels, just because of
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now, this dude is on, fake dates, obviously, because the person holding the camera doesn't give a rat's ass about this guy. I just kind of noticed this guy is very effeminate for being on a date with a chickie. Just saying.
Is a lawyer talking. So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices? They use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there's acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used too. They might say something like, look, we're not looking at the usual suspects for this job right now. So it's not a legally actionable thing. But everybody knows what it means. The writers and actors hear all the time, looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on any more clients who...
Welcome to the Disney Tapes. My name is James O'Keefe, standing here in Burbank, California, outside Disney corporate headquarters. This is our first part in a series about blatant discrimination and woke policies at the Walt Disney Company. To say that the Disney Company has had a tumultuous 5 years, well, that would be an understatement. Major box office flops, a losing battle with the state of Florida, and a stock that is one of the worst performers on Wall Street. And as you'll probably conclude from this report, as well as recent shareholder rumblings, almost all of Disney's recent failings are as a result of Bob Iger and the cast of characters here at Disney that are trying to force woke DEI policies into every aspect of Disney's vast media empire. What used to be a highly profitable company, by being the gold standard of family entertainment, has taken a sharp downturn in the wake of all of its wokeness. Under CEO Bob Iger's leadership, Disney's downfall likely started with the insane hiring practices amongst its executives and creative teams. One of their top senior vice presidents claims that they not only discriminate against white men, when recruiting and hiring middle management, they actually give bonuses for hiring and retaining employees that are specifically not white. According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against whites, white in particular. Not a week goes by without a news headline about potential medical supply shortages, threats to our infrastructure or power. You remember what
commercial. Yeah,
They
we'll let
pulled
his
during the
commercial
last
play.
pandemic. Certain medications were mysteriously out of stock. No way will I ever let that happen again. In today's unpredictable world, it's all about being prepared for who knows what they have in store for the next pandemic. Our friends and supporters at the Wellness Company have designed this unique, prescription-based medical emergency kit that is packed with 8 potentially life-saving prescription-only medications, including Z-Pak and ivermectin, which I used myself while out on the road and starting to feel a bit under the weather. Health is everything, and this is a great opportunity to order. Wellness Company Medical Emergency Kit stands ready to treat over 30 common ailments, ensuring you'll have access to vital medications when you need them most. And now save $45 per kit when you order using the code OMG. Get ready to write this down. Get your Wellness Company Medical Emergency Kit at twc.health/OMG. That's twc.health/OMG. That's twc.health/OMG.
Have a diversity, equity, inclusion.
Oh, yeah, and obviously, if you want to, go support Mr. James O'Keefe here. I figure if we're going to make content off of his content, we should at least let his commercial play. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Department who's very
Okay.
involved in like setting standards to make sure that shows have diversity.
Do you think like Bob has a say in the diversity stuff when they're casting people? Like
100%.
So what-
He gives the directive. I mean,
for each show? For each
not that specifically, but like, hey, I want every show.
Okay, so if Bob Iger gives the directives, that means all this DEI bullshit, right, comes from the top down. All the racist bullshit comes from the top down. So he is head... Wait, does that make him the head of the Disney KKK? Or would be the WWW? The white? I'm not sure. Let's continue.
Substantial.
Iger even has a chief diversity officer. Now, up until recently, that was Latondra Newton, who played a big part in dragging Disney full bore into its losing culture war by promoting discriminatory hiring practices and introducing gay, lesbian, transgender, non-binary, and other characters into Disney's children's animated series and films.
Is it like an all-across HR, or there's like that one specific person that kind of like, because like I forgot the lady's name. She's the head of the.
Oh, I know you're talking about the head of.
The African American lady. Yeah. So is that like kind of her deciding?
She
that?
oversees a lot of that for sure. But it's pretty broad, I would say. There are other people in HR who are also focused. I would say a relatively large percentage of our top writer creators happen to be gay. And a lot of
just by happenstance.
I mean, like,
Just by happen to be. Let's say, I mean, like, just like if you say whatever, I don't know, whatever 10 or 15% of the population is gay. Actually, no, isn't that like only maybe 2% of the population is actually gay? Or actually gay, not, Instagram gay, but whatever. Yeah, so if everyone in the writers' rooms are gay, the only perspective you're going to get is gay people. If the only people that you're hiring are pretty much anyone who's not white, the only perspective you're going to get are from people who are not white and been told their entire lives that they are beneath white people, and usually told this by the people of their own skin color. Yeah, it seems like it's going to work out great for you, Disney.
if you say whatever, I don't know, whatever 10 or 15% of the population is gay, I would guess that 30 to 35% of our top writers are gay. And so it's a lot of lean into trans stories more than the average straight writer would.
And in an odd twist, you have to be a white Jewish guy to be considered for a C-suite job. More on that next week. But now, let's meet Los Angeles-based Michael Giordano, a white male and Walt Disney's Senior Vice President of Business Affairs.
I do.
Oh, and by the way, this guy has deleted his LinkedIn, pretty much all, and also pretty much all social media has been blocked or deleted.
Like business affairs, like negotiations for television.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
Not really like on the creative side. So a lot of it is, like knowing like the guild agreements and the union agreements and everything, like make offers for the writers and the actors who are going to be working on the show and the producers and the directors and try to get to a place where we can be able to deal with them, help the production, to budget, and so much of my job is just to negotiate, really. And then other people are doing kind of everything of the contracts. So
Oh wow. So yeah, what's the negotiating like?
I'm like sitting down trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to pay this actor for this role? What do we think they want?
Oh wow.
Kind of strategize that. Everything from how you produce a show, how you distribute a show, how you exhibit a show, how you market a show. Things like that, all of the negotiations and
Yeah.
One, well, actually two of our brave undercover journalist and American swiper investigative reporters met Michael on the dating app Hinge. And aside from this story, which focused on Disney's overt discrimination against white men, you'll see later on in this report, and it'll be quite entertaining, Michael turns out to be quite the ladies' man.
How long have you been on like dating app?
Not very long.
Have you been going out?
Not a lot.
Anything like worth.
You know what's funny? No.
Let's dig right into Disney's blatant practices of discrimination. If you're wondering how Disney as a company looks at race, gender, and discrimination...
Okay, I'm going to go back against Mr. James O'Keefe here for just a second. I don't think it really matters how long he's been on the dating app. The fact that the guy's using the dating app at all has no bearing whatsoever on the fact that Disney is being racist fucktards. I think that's just kind of a jab from James, and I think he's better than that, honestly. But let's move on. I mean, I'm a cartoon character on the internet, so I'm the one that's supposed to make those jabs? Come on, dude.
In the hiring process about how they recruit and hire talent, look no further.
I think there are times when it's like so front and center, it's like great because that's the focus, you know. Like we have so many shows where we're casting and we're like, yeah, we're not even going to see, you know, certain people for it because we need that particular role to.
Yeah. Is it intentional that they want, like, they only look for diverse candidates for certain roles?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to, I can't believe I'm going to kind of sort of defend Disney on this a little bit. Now, if I write a character, and I'm not a writer, obviously, but if I were to write a character and at the end of deciding, hey, I want my character to be 6'1", have muscular build, military background, let's say SAS or, some, Uber bang bang shoot 'em up kind of thing. And at the end of that, I'm like, I really, really liked Wesley Snipes in whatever role. Or I really liked, can't think of his name now. I hate that. But you get the general idea. I really liked the black actor for this, blah, 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 blah. I'd like this to be a black guy or something along those lines. I think if they're casting based on that, that's okay. Because you're not starting out with saying, oh, well, I have to have this be a black guy, I have this be a trans person, whatever the case may be. You're saying, hey, this is where the character just kind of fell into. This is where the natural progression of my writing went, and I'm good with that. But unfortunately, we know that that's not the case with Disney, and it hasn't been the case with Disney for a very long time. They just start at the beginning. This has to be a trans person, gay person, whatever your flag of the week is for that particular day or whatever. That's where they start from. That's the issue. Because I guarantee if anybody came across and went, especially in the last 50 years, in the last 50 years, in my lifetime, right? At any point, if somebody would have said, oh yeah, by the way, can't cast the tranny person, no. We have to cast the dullest white dude we can find. That wouldn't have gone over well. Still wouldn't go over well. And it shouldn't be going over at all or well in the other direction. Let's move on here.
I think there's certainly a belief that it's just good for society and they know. But
the belief is good for society. Yes, that's right. Here comes your virtuism from Disney. How virtuous are they? To tell trans people, gay people, lesbians, things of those, not things, but people of that nature, how virtuous is it of Bob Iger and Disney to tell you, because you're not good enough to get these jobs, these roles on your own? That is exactly what Disney is telling you. Disney is telling you you are not good enough. So what did I stop on? But they know. But there's also a belief that, we're going to make more money. How are you going to make more money? Disney stock is down, and it's going down progressively. People aren't going and watching Disney movies anymore. Yes, you might have one. I think that, what is that? I don't know, one of the movies that's in theaters right now, the second one of them, I don't remember what it is, because I don't really care. I think that one's doing okay. I've heard people liked it for the most part, but I'm not going to go watch it. It's not my thing. But, okay, so that's an okay movie from Disney. When's the last movie from Disney that was just even okay? It's been a while, hadn't it? So I think, where are they going to get the money from? I mean, maybe it's the, special funding, DEI from BlackRock or whatever kind of money, but eventually that shit dries up too.
there's also a belief that, we're going to make more money if we appeal to a wider variety of people. And it's a good thing. We have shareholders too.
Diversity helps with financial incentive.
No, diversity does not help with financial incentive, especially for shareholders. I'm sorry, but people who are shareholders at a company, unless you're a dumbass and have no idea how money works, You don't really give a flying horse's ass about the diversity of the company. Not as in diversity for skin color and sexuality. You care about diversity as in investment diversity. You care if that company is going out and doing different things to try and make money. Yes, you also, as an investor or as a stockholder in a company, really care. If you notice that the company you've invested in, especially if you've invested a lot of money, especially if your retirement might hinge a little bit on Disney, because a lot of their 401k retirement plans, if you dig into them far enough, there's probably some Disney property in there. If you have a good planner, hopefully they didn't buy too much of the dog shit, but there's probably some Disney property in. So yeah, we care about diversity of investment, but we also care when your version of diversity is losing us fucking money.
So is it like, do you think it's more so on that side, or using like any good prices gets put to use, or?
Regardless, I think the Disney regardless, but I think that there are, like, even people who may not want to lean into it can easily make the argument that, like, we make more money when we have to deal with a wider variety of people, and that means diversity.
Not making more money, it's losing money. Like I said before, unless they're getting a big kickbacks from something, they're losing money.
Focus on every show, and I'm sure the movies too, that I don't deal with that side, but, you know, making sure that they're hiring some writers with certain disabilities.
Yes, instead of hiring people who are talented, they're basically saying, hey, you are not good enough for this, let me hire you, you special little whatever you are. Yes, we're gonna hire you, yes we are, because we here at Disney do not believe, no, we do not believe you are good enough to do things on your own. No, we don't. Fucking hell.
You know, so there's a really broad look whenever we're doing that.
Yeah.
So they talk a big game about DEI, but do they actually do it? Apparently so. They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
Yeah.
We had a situation where we wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now who was half black, but didn't like appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, that's not what they wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way. And he wasn't going to bring that to the meeting.
And so this is like
this was on the
corporate side, like the business side.
So, okay. So somebody who was obviously qualified because I think he did, wanted to hire this person. They checked the boxes, or one of the boxes anyway, were qualified for the job, but were told they couldn't have the job. Obviously, they weren't told they couldn't have the job because they weren't black enough, but they were told, yeah, I'm sorry, we found somebody else, or you're not our right fit, or whatever bullshit excuse they use. So, but they were told this because they weren't black enough. Are you fucking, I know you're not fucking kidding me, but come on. I know I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I'll say it again in the future. If you literally replace any of these things with, instead of white, another color, like he was too white, pretty much is what they're saying. So if you just say, hey, we're not gonna hire somebody because they were too black, you'd be called a racist, and rightfully so. I don't get how these companies like Disney especially think that this is doing them any good. Disney is not a soapbox for fucktards like Bob Iger and his ilk to stand there and lecture the rest of the world. These are people who at least never in recent times of their life, had to deal with any type of struggle. They've never had to deal with any type of actual racism or any shit like that. And they don't care about that because they're white people, the majority of them, and they already have their positions of power. Sometimes, a lot of time, I think they do this just to protect their position, not because they're virtuous or any of that bullshit. But moving on.
I never understood that. Is it like, 'cause I know a lot, like I have like a lot of black friends who like are not as dark as so do they care about ethnicity actually?
They say they don't care about it, but the truth is, to some extent, they do. If you're mixed, but you don't look black at all.
Of course they're going to say they don't care about it, because if they were to blatantly come out and go, yeah, this person's not black enough, blah, 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 they would get their asses sued, which people should be doing anyway, especially when there are plenty of videos from Disney people saying that we hire on race or sexuality or whatever. There's plenty of that around already. I'm sorry, but if you don't get, I think everybody that's white, male or female, if you don't get hired by Disney, you should automatically file a complaint. Even if that complaint doesn't go anywhere, you should file it. That way there's like legal history for it, right? And at some point, Disney's gonna get caught, and they're gonna be completely fucked because there will be a history on documentation, on paper, of Disney doing this shit.
Sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, I'm not so sure. But if you're mixed and you can tell somebody's part black, but they're not like that black, okay, that was still, it's crazy.
But apparently Meghan Markle is black enough. You can't make this up.
So would like Meghan more pretty white?
Right, yeah.
Would she be considered
She would still
like,
be,
diverse?
yeah.
Or
Huh? As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney, saying, quote, "As far as Disney is concerned, I'm a white male."
Now I'm like a half step below a department head. I have a team under me, but I don't oversee a whole department. And I'd like to oversee a whole department, whether that's at Disney or
Okay. Do you think that you'll have opportunity at Disney?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think I'm sort of like well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. As far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote as the moment.
Okay, I don't know. I guess maybe defend this Michael dude a little bit. I'm not sure how to really word this. You can tell he feels defeated working for Disney, and really, at least to me, it looks like he feels that way. Also, I don't think he likes what's going on with Disney and the hiring practices. I get that feeling from him. And a lot of people can do the whole, well, if he doesn't like it, why doesn't he quit his job? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I gotta be honest with you, and I'm assuming that a good portion of you will agree with me. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. Just quitting your job because you don't like something isn't really the way things work in the world. Just because this guy's on a dating apps doesn't mean he doesn't have people to take care of. Doesn't mean that, maybe the guy was married, got divorced, and he's got alimony and kids to take care of. So, not knowing what's going on in this guy's life, people can't just go, well, you should just quit. Life doesn't work that way. But like I said, I don't think he really likes the fact that Disney is as racist and shit as it is. Like, he would probably prefer it to be not that way. But that might also just be me putting myself in that position and having some empathy for somebody that I've never met. That's also entirely possible. Let's go.
Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
So,
Oh, do you think that has a lot to
I don't know a lot, but it's something to do with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it had something to do with it?
One or two cases,
So basically, he's trying to really, really make excuses for Disney right now, while he's saying, he literally was passed up for jobs he had the qualifications for, and I know this one personally, I have as well, had the qualifications for, and somebody of color or of different, sexuality or whatever than him got put there when they obviously didn't have the experience or knowledge in how to do the job. He's really kind of peddle that one and make it make sense in his brain, but I think he's gonna it's not gonna take too long here. In a little while, maybe this report or this video from O'Keefe here will push him over the edge, right? And he'll like, whoa, I didn't realize that I was getting fucked so hard by Disney.
I was told very explicitly that it is. Yeah.
Explicitly how? What did they tell you?
I mean, I've been at the company for 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions. And look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering a white males for the job. They're just not. Yes.
And so it's probably fair that Disney would say, we don't want a white person to play this role.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very careful about they're very careful about messaging because they don't want to get to discrimination in either direction. But certainly there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male.
See, yeah, like internally Disney's probably going to be like that with certain people. There's no way we're going to hire a white guy for this role. Externally, they're just going to complain and claim the DEI bullshit and yada, yada, yada. There's about 5 more minutes of this video, and I don't want to sit here and watch James O'Keefe's entire video. I want to go to his Twitter, which is literally just James O'Keefe. You see at the top there. Bing, bing, just boom, right there. James O'Keefe. I'm going to encourage you to go there, watch the rest of the video, and make the decision for yourself if Disney is using the racist hiring practices and things of that nature, which, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me, but hey, I'm not you. Anyway, do me a giant favor of liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting below, and let me know what you think about this whole thing. And I will see you boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, later on. Have yourselves a great, wonderful, and as always, prosperous day. Bye-bye.